It's been a couple weeks. Got the deck done, so I'm happy about that at least. And I had 2 weeks of watching the boy because he got quarantined from daycare because one of the instructors tested positive in his classroom. So it was slightly annoying. Bad timing too because it was right in the middle of me switching jobs. So I did a really half-assed last week at my old job. I don't think they hold a grudge, but I wish I had gotten more done for them, and then had to delay starting the new one by a week, which it worked out. Nobody seems upset there either, but still pretty annoying. Didn't get really any car work done while doing the deck stuff, but I did end up with this giant amount of railing parts left, right? Because the kits are for 6 feet. None of my sections are 6 feet out there. So I don't know. These are all aluminum. I'm not going to throw them out. That'd be a shame. Just not sure what I'll use them for. Yeah, I got to try to figure out how to get this a little cleaner. The degreaser works, but it's tedious and time consuming. And really, to move forward, I need to make sure I can use that subframe, because I got the new guy, right, direct from Poland or wherever the hell, some dude on eBay in Europe. So this should line up properly with this one. And then we want to make sure our engine side is going to line up with this, and that we don't actually need a Mark III K-member. The only way we can do that is when we get the clutch and transmission back on here. That needs the flanges switched from the old trans, so those flanges need to go on this transmission. What else? Yeah, we just need to put gaskets back on too. We don't even I won't even have the turbo on to mount this, because we want to mount it with the original mount so we know it's in place, and then remove that and use this guy. I got some cut off wheels, and we got to fab up a new rear motor mount that goes here and reaches around the turbo. So it's tempting to power wash this thing. I don't know how risky that is though. Alright, I had to wait a second for a bunch of losers on sport bikes to go by. It's funny because they fly down the straight and then all you hear is them slowing down through all the corners because they suck. But anyway, little before shot. Greasy and gross. This is just to keep the mist out. We're not going to blast that directly. We're just going to try to get these huge chunks off around the bottom. Same thing here. Try to get some of these chunks out without blowing through into our oil area. Should be fine. I power washed this once. And these electronics got mad. It went into like a limp mode, similar to the one you get when it can't read the throttle pedal, so it won't let you give it throttle, but it'll idle. And unfortunately, with this engine in the Mark IV, some of the buddies are behind. Oh, we're gonna pass that SUV. Poor guys, they can only go 60 now. Anyway, yeah, so it goes into like a limp mode and doesn't let you give it any throttle, but it'll idle. And with the idle controller, if you shift nice, you can get into fifth and you can go 35. So I was able to limp it home, let it dry out for a few days, and then it ran fine. I still haven't fixed quote unquote the starter on this, because I mean, why would I? I shouldn't aim that at my face when I'm starting it. As soon as I put a pull cord on here, I won't have electric start anymore. Oh, don't jam up. Builds up pressure. So there's ready to go. Okay, I don't even know what I was so scared of. That actually went really, really well. So you can see that there's not a bunch of chunks, well, at least not the kind that's going to completely cover our arms when we try to put the engine back in. It's not perfect. This tape held up fantastic, but you can ignore all that. We're on well water, so it's fine. Like, this stuff took a couple direct hits, and it really didn't let anything through. So I'm not sure I'll start putting stuff back on this yet. I'm going to let it sit a day and hang out. So I covered the fuel lines, even though it was just pumped through anyway. It's not like a ton of water would have gotten in there. And while I was working, I noticed I didn't do the oil drain for the turbo. That doesn't matter because the pan's coming off. We got new gasket material for that, and we're going to be putting this main on. So once it's on the hoist before the transmission goes on, we'll do the rear main and the oil pan gasket, make sure that's all cleaned out, get any sludge out of the bottom of that pan. It'll be interesting to see. Also, need to update our list of stuff. So G60 trans mount, I mean, we basically got that. That's how it was saw, but it's the same thing. AC core thingy. What was that? And I'm not going to use AC. Don't even remember what that was for. Here, well, we'll leave that. So to think about radio and intercooler setup, still have to think about those. Hood struts. Neighbor, Brian, hooked me up. He doesn't, well, he has them. We just had to determine what size. So he had a side business that still has it, doing quite well, selling these things. These are a set that doesn't fit. These are my original rusty nasty ones. So I gave him one of these, and he found one that's the same compressed in length and stroke length, and then he has multiple force sizes. So I like to have two, so we can probably go with his minimum. But he said once I have the car out and I'm doing hood stuff, let him know, and he's got things available in stock, just hanging out. Lock pull, no dicer skulls. We're not going to worry about that for now. Rear passenger grab handle, I haven't bought that, and I haven't bought the starter bolt. Hood struts, ammo, and guns. Good on these. Wouldn't mind more ammo. Yep, and we got the K1s in. So what we need to do still, stuff to get, stuff to maybe get, stuff to think about. We need stuff to do. So take a quick thought. Right, so intercooler setup. I have two intercoolers, one off of the Mark IV and one I think is off a 1.8 turbo. I don't exactly remember where I got it. I don't know where it came from. Doesn't matter. I've got two. So I thought about kind of copying the Q7 setup where there's an intercooler on each side, but I think that large amount of piping is going to be a pain in the dingus. So likely what I need to do is do a front mount like I did before, but this time I'll leave all the bolts in place so my hood and radiator don't fly off on the expressway. Yep, so tomorrow, cross my heart, I'm gonna start bolting things on the engine. It should be relatively dry by then. I need to get a keyboard and mouse so I can get torque specs and things up on the screen. We'll do all the good stuff. I'll probably pull this out just in case anything got in there. It can dry. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, big fan of the aluminum tape and power washing. Way better than degreaser. Now, given what that degreaser was supposed to put up with, I think it did pretty well. And I'm still impressed with that stuff, but nothing beats just blasting it off into nature.